What's good, guys? Welcome back to Ron's Rides. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video where I know you probably hit dislike before you even watch the video. Some people might have even hit like before they even watch the video because there are some people who don't like the Maserati brand and will be here to hate. There are other people that love the Maserati brand and will think that I'm here hating, but really it's a constructive criticism video time. I do these every year, especially with 2021, where Maserati has revised a couple of things in the car that has made it a lot better, and the new restyling will be coming soon for the Maserati Ghibli and Levante. So I decided to do this as a pair. I never normally do this, but I'm doing a video on the things that I feel like the Maserati Ghibli and Levante could have done better. Alfa Romeo does not get away with being the only one that I have constructive criticism for. All right, Maserati as well, and being a former owner of two Maserati Ghiblis, I want to put my input in because I've seen the car grow so much over the years, and now I want to say what they've done great, but what they could have done better, in my opinion. But I'm going to need your help down below. Leave a comment down below what you think. If you agree with any of the things that I said in this video or disagree, I want to know. Maybe Maserati will see this video and maybe they will take some. No, they won't. They won't take any kind of cues from this. But again, you know, the people speak and sometimes they listen. Look at the Maserati Ghibli Trofeo. But let's get right to this video. I'll cut the small talk. Let's get right to it. Now guys, I'm here at Maserati Alfa Romeo of Daytona Beach, and I'm not exactly sure how I found two of the same spec Ghibli and Levantes. Both base model or entry level 2021s. All right, both have Grigio exterior, both have Nero interior, and both have the GT Sport package on it, which is why they look like Grand Sports because of that. It's crazy how I got the same two specs, but here we are. And the reason why I went with entry level models is because I want to show you guys what I feel Maserati should have standard. All right, coming from the factory, the things you should have standard without adding all the options on it. Okay, so these are Maseratis that you can drive on the road. Do they fit the standard of 2021 as far as quality and everything goes for other vehicles? Okay, this is an Italian vehicle. This, you know, should set a high precedent. Does it for 2021? So we're going to talk about that here. I'm just going to give you my opinions because it could be subjective. You know, not everybody feels the same way. So here's my constructive criticism. Now, as far as looks goes, well, the only real complaint I have, I mean, standard bi-xenon headlamps, matrix LEDs are not standard. All right, so they are upcharged. I feel like Maserati has full LED headlights. They should be standard on these cars. So this one has the bi-xenon headlamps, and up here is the standard headlamps, bi-xenons as well for the Levante. But you can get full matrix, and it looks a lot better. It's a lot better technology. I mean, they put so much into those full matrix LED lights. I feel like the standard lighting is just, it's a thing of the past. So Maserati did change the taillights for 2021. So you guys now see the new boomerang taillights. First time they've changed the taillights since the end of 2014, 2015, when they came back to the US with the new restyling and put the Ghibli. Now, the Levante didn't come out to 2017, but it had the same lights. Now, these look great. I love them, love them, love them. I just did a video on what they look like at night, so make sure you check that out. But yeah, for styling, they did the right things as far as the exterior. Gave you the GT Sport package, which came out in 2020, might I add, and they gave you the new tail lamps. I mean, really, it's not too much you could do without doing a full restyle. I think they did a great job. I'm always going to complain about the Ghibli not having a spoiler standard. You having to get the carbon package to get the spoiler. Other than that, yeah, I mean, they did all right with the styling, and you know, it's not much they had to change really because these things came out of the box looking pretty good. Again, that might be subjective for some people. You know, you've seen the Doug DeMuro videos in the past with the panel gap and all of this and that. But other than that, I really think that the Maserati Ghibli and Levante look good out of the box, and just get rid of that old headlight technology and I'm good. Now, you guys already know I'm gonna have some stuff to say here. Now, the sound that comes from the twin turbo V6 in the Maseratis is immaculate. Listen to the cold starts. Listen to the cold starts. Okay, so you can argue which one sounds better. I always say the Levante sounded better than the Ghibli, but these cars make some of the best sounds for their segments. You cannot argue that. But I'm here because no Maserati in 2021 or here on out should have under 400 horsepower. All right, these are 345 horsepower variants. Now, this has been a thing that's been standard. This is nothing new. All right, this has been the same since 2014. And then they added the S model, which gives you 424 horsepower. All right, and then we got a freaking V8 that I just did, the Ghibli Trofeo, 580 horsepower, thing goes 200 miles per hour. Why can't we have any Maseratis that are standard with 424 horsepower like the Quattroporte? The Quattroporte does not come with a 345 variant. The Quattroporte standard comes with the S model, which is the 424 powertrain. So I don't think we should have any Maseratis coming from the factory with just 345 horsepower. All right, these Ferrari-derived engines really were great engines and serve these cars well. Now with Maserati making their own engines, I think that they should really gear to have Maserati have that presence and power that the Trofeo has, but on a descaled level. Nowadays, I think people would call Maseratis slow or overpriced because of how, you know, they lack that horsepower and they lack that sense of, you know, I guess, speed. And I think that, you know, people should drive these cars and really get a sense of what they feel like when they're on the road with them, especially with that exhaust just blaring. I mean, we know we have so much fun with that, but it also, the numbers should match. The numbers should match the presence, the road presence of these things, the driving experience, they should match. And I feel like these engines should really just be at least 424 horsepower for these cars, even the entry-level models. All right, we can go up to 580, then we can definitely do 400 standard. All right, guys, so in the interior, we get it. We've been talking about it for years, and a lot of people have made this argument, and I know that I didn't give it much crap in the beginning because it didn't really matter as much, but I think it's time, after 6-7 years, that Maserati does change the interior buttons. Now, I'm not talking about necessarily on the steering wheel, but, you know, the FCA-like buttons. Now, the latest arguments that I made was the start-stop button on the Trofeo. The Ghibli Trofeo, okay, so we're FCA, Stellantis, PSA, whatever you want to call it now in 2021. The Hellcat has, you know, the Challenger Charger Hellcat has the red start-stop button. Maserati could even do that on the Trofeo. I mean, they're the same brand, company, whatever. Put a red start-stop button there. You know, change these buttons to aluminum buttons. You know, make it feel a little bit more quality and luxury as far as that goes. I mean, you have aluminum door handles, you have surrounds on the seat memory. My biggest argument really came this year when I saw that they made a simple change that I felt like could have went over to the buttons to shut everybody up or finally give us that, you know, enthusiast satisfaction, fan service. It's when they did this. Okay, beautiful. I'm glad they did it. They changed over the seat buttons, the seat controls for lumbar support and everything here. The seat adjustments look great with the aluminum finish and the gloss black centers. Why can't we do that for our buttons throughout the cabin? All right, to give it that more quality premium feel. I know it would have cost a little bit more money, but when you're paying for things at this price level, somebody's not going to be mad if they have to pay an extra $1,000 to have that comfortable quality interior that they expect out of this brand. So with that said, the rest of the buttons inside still carry over that same flavor that you're used to the past 7 years. And I feel like just to help it out a little bit, people would have loved for those buttons to change. It would have taken it a long way, and I know that's been a big criticism for this brand for the longest time. They started to do their work there, and it seems like they started a project that they never finished, or they ran out of time, and they didn't go for the full development of the aluminum trim, gloss buttons, whatever they would have done. I felt like it would have been an improvement to what we have now. Oh, and that goes for the Ghibli too. You know, the Ghibli still changed over the seat controls, all right, to the aluminum finish, but the rest of it, well, same thing that you're used to. A little chrome tip on the top, you know, just to say you did something, but chrome surround, you know, but it just, the aluminum button feel would look so much better in here, or make it all chrome. I don't care, you know, just the plastic buttons. We need a little bit more quality when it comes to these interiors. Maserati did a couple great things on the interior, especially for the Ghibli, and I say especially for the Ghibli because we're going to have a talk about the Levante. Now, TFT screen, all new setup, the dials, the odometer, everything. I mean, the speedo is just beautifully laid out. It looks good for 2021. They changed this thing up big time, and we've gone through all of that. Also, this new 10.1 inch MIA, all right, Maserati Intelligent Assistant. This thing is killer. I mean, best thing that Maserati did for 2021. Best thing hands down. We've gone through this as well. Also, down here, we do have wireless charging now for the Maserati Ghibli, and we have the USB-C hook in with the USB 2.0. Again, beautiful. Glad they did this. These are all small things, all right, that make a huge difference when all put together when it comes to the cabin experience. Okay, inside of the Levante. Beautiful dials, TFT screen layout. Looks just the same as the Ghibli. But, yeah, this isn't a 10.1 inch screen. Same layout that you're used to since 2017 for the Levante as far as the screen size and setup here for the infotainment. All right, so this is a lot more squished, a lot smaller in the SUV. I feel like if anything, this should have been a 10.1 inch screen over the 8.4 inch that it is here. All right, so with the family car, you know, more space, everything is bigger, the screen should be bigger. Am I wrong? All right, so Maserati was a little lazy here and didn't, you know, make this screen bigger. Now, the infotainment is perfect as far as the usability, everything else, the technology, everything that they added for the new 2021 models for the MIA system. Great. Wish it was bigger. Again, you see it in the Ghibli, and then you see the big difference here in the Levante. My other complaint is down here, they did not change it like the Ghibli. So this does not have wireless charging. All right, so no wireless charging in the Levante, and there's no USB-C plug-in. All right, it's the same setup where you get your SD card, your USB 2.0, and your aux cable down there. All right, so for the Ghibli, you have wireless charging, you have a USB 2.0, and you have USB-C. They did not have that in the Levante. So the Levante got a little lazy when it comes to the center console here because it didn't change a thing besides the MIA screen here, and it didn't make it as big as the one in the Ghibli's. And again, I feel like the Levante should have had the bigger screen. That's me though. What do you guys think? Now, last but not least, we're in the back here where the Levante is doing pretty good, all right? So, I mean, we got our cup holders here, all right? I mean, you know, that's standard. You're charging there, your USB 2.0s. I don't think anybody really smokes in these cars, but if you do, that's there for you. Or your 12 volt, whatever you want to use it as. And then HVAC vents. I mean, it's pretty simple, pretty standard, nothing crazy. And I'm not going to fault it for that, for it being, you know, just a little boring, but it gives you what you need for the most part. I wish there was a USB-C plug-in back here, or, you know, some flashy buttons a little bit, maybe a little bit of, you know, gloss, or, you know, something to give it a little bit more pizzazz. But it gives you what you need as far as your charging here, your HVAC, and your cup holders. Now, inside of the Ghibli here is a little different setup. Cup holders are here as usual, but you have a little cubby, you know, spot here, which is nice. I wish the Levante actually had that, but that's it. It's a cubby. There's nothing in there as far as charging goes. And then, yeah, that doesn't flip out. There's no charging in here in the rear. So, yeah, you know, your rear seat passengers definitely got to fend for themselves, or they have to run a cable, you know, from the front to the back. And that's not necessarily the most practical thing in the world. So, yeah, with it not having any charging ports in the back and just this kind of boring HVAC vent setup here, I think that the Ghibli could have done a lot better when it comes to, you know, taking care and providing for its rear seat passengers, because it is a sedan that, you know, prides itself on being able to have the Maserati experience, but seating for people. Now, let's not get it twisted. Again, these are the entry-level models, and the Quattroporte is a little different because you can get the executive seating package, which comes with like a full center console thing with screens and climate controls and, you know, TV, you know, I mean, all that stuff. All right, and then you can get heated seats and all that kind of stuff, the sunshade, where that will go here. All right, so that's cool, you know, sunshade and heated seats, all that. All right, but what I'm talking about is the charging. There's no charging ports back here. I won't fault it for things that it doesn't have because it's not optioned out with it being the entry-level model. It could easily put charging ports right there, or, you know, somewhere in here or right here. It doesn't matter. But yeah, there's nothing there. So, I mean, call it a small gripe. I think that it should have charging in the back, and I've said this plenty of times before in videos. Again, what do you guys think? Really, guys, those are my 5 things that I would change on the Maserati Ghibli and Levante for 2021. They did a really good job updating the infotainment screen, charging ports, TFT screen, the tail lights, stuff like that. All right, so going over those 5 things, the headlights, I mean, we got the full matrix LED headlights. Now it's time to make them standard. I feel like we don't need bi-xenons. They're very old technology. You have a Maserati driving around with old technology in 2021, you can change it. Engines for number 2. I mean, come on, we can do 400 horsepower for each Maserati. I mean, it should be a thing, all right? Number 3, the buttons, all right? The buttons have been a problem for the longest time. I'm sure Maserati has heard that plenty of times before. They changed up the seat adjustments, but that was it. So the buttons can be done. We've seen it done on the seating controls now. We know you can do it. We know you're capable. You kind of teased us on it, but they didn't change the buttons as far as the quality and the materials to make it more upscale. I feel like that should be standard in all Maseratis. The lack of the Maserati Levante's touchscreen size, all right, being lazy and not doing any R&D to change that console, maybe it's because Maserati will be doing the new redesign that will be coming out, I think, in 2023 for the Levante. That's still a long time. You change it for the Ghibli, you kind of shortchange everybody that gets the Levante for 2021, especially on the wireless charging and the USB-C. So again, I feel like that should have been changed as well. Levante kind of struck out on that one. And then number 5, the last one, the charging ports or lack thereof charging ports in the back for the Ghibli. Again, just having the HVAC vents and nothing else. I know it wasn't optioned out with the heated seats, which will be there, and the rear shade would be there. So I know that that would normally be there, but if you don't put anything else there, put some charging ports in there. Accommodate for your rear seat passengers. You know, it's small things that add up. Give it a little bit more styling back there, give it a little bit more usability, and I think people will be more happy when it comes to, you know, the whole Ghibli experience. So with that said, I know I'm gonna get some slack, catch some heat on this one. This is probably why Maserati never invites me to anything or gives me any cars or anything to review, so I have to make do. But with that said, I want to be transparent, I want to be honest, and I want to do constructive criticism, again, because we love the brands. I loved it enough to buy 2 of them. I want to see them do well. These are my things that I wish they did well. I still love the improvements that they did, but I want to see more from them because I expect more of them. And because of that, I want to share it with you guys, see if you have had the same experiences, see if you feel the same things, or see if you don't, and help me see the other side of the argument. So with that said, let's talk about this down below. Do you agree with the 5 things that I think that Maserati could have done better for the 2021 Ghibli and Levante? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you guys did enjoy the video today, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Giving it a thumbs up will help get it up in the rankings. More people can see it, and we got this discussion on the Ghibli and Levante for 2021, the good and the bad. Now with that said, if you guys want to further help support the channel, always check the links down below. I have a one-time link donation for my PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo, just in case you guys want to donate $1 or $2 to the channel. You can also check out the Ron's Rise merch. You can get Ron's Rise t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, everything Ron's Rise there. I'm also on Patreon and TikTok, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram. See everything I'm posting, Ferrari, Maserati, and Alfa Romeo, that doesn't always make it here to the channel. And with that said, make sure you guys subscribe. But after you subscribe, click the notification bell so you don't miss one Ron's Rise video. And with that said, you guys be blessed, have a great day, and we will talk to you guys in the next Ron's Rise video. Peace.